The woman I had been seeing online was from a wealthy family in Sterling City. The evening just before our first in-person meeting, I happened to overhear a conversation she was having with her best friend. "I'm just playing with him. I've never been with someone so poor and clueless before," she said, her voice dripping with disdain. "Meet him? No chance. Is one of you free? Could you go instead and just get him off my back?" I didn't cause a scene. The following day, I went to our designated meeting spot as if nothing had happened. When her friend arrived, I took her hand. She gave me a long, searching look, but didn't resist. That night, the rich girl called, her tone surprisingly deferential. "Maya, did you get rid of him?" Maya glanced over at me, her body pressed lightly against the wall, and her voice came out in a low, husky tone. "Yes, he's gone." My journey to meet Chloe in person had been something I'd looked forward to for weeks. She always seemed to have a reason to put it off, offering vague excuses about her busy schedule. It wasn't until I used a feature in our favorite game to turn my avatar invisible and slip into her private voice chat lobby that I understood why. "I'm just messing around with Byte," I heard her say. "He's from some tiny town. How could I possibly take him seriously?" A cold knot formed in my stomach. That was Chloe, speaking in the spoiled, condescending tone I was beginning to recognize. "Then why bother with him at all?" one of her friends asked. "It's a new experience," Chloe replied dismissively. "I've never dated anyone so broke and dumb before." Her friends let out a few polite giggles. "But he's coming here to see you," another friend pointed out. "So annoying," Chloe whined, though you could hear the smug satisfaction in her voice, as if his willingness to travel for her was just another testament to her own desirability. "Chloe, you should probably just meet him," one of her friends suggested, sounding a bit more reasonable. "Yeah, he's already made the trip. If you're not into him, you should at least tell him that yourself." It seemed her friends had more of a conscience than she did, but Chloe would have none of it. "Meet up with him? Absolutely not. I'm worried he'll be an eyesore." "What do you mean? Is he ugly?" another friend chimed in. "The guy wouldn't even send me a picture, so he's gotta be hideous. Besides, what kind of good-looking guy comes out of a place like Crestwood?" Then, she proposed her plan. "Hey, who's free tomorrow? Can one of you go in my place?" "I don't know if that's a good idea," someone said hesitantly. "It's fine," Chloe insisted. "He has no idea what I look like. Just go and brush him off." I didn't imagine anyone would actually agree to such a callous request. But then a quiet voice cut through the chatter. "I'll go." Chloe was momentarily stunned. Her tone shifted, becoming more cautious. "Maya, I couldn't ask you to do that." "It's all right. I don't have any plans tomorrow anyway." The woman named Maya had a cool, composed voice that sent an unexpected jolt through me. To be honest, the sound of her voice was so captivating it made my head feel a little light. I glanced at her username in the lobby. Maya. It was her real name. During my online dates with Chloe, her friends would sometimes join the game to watch us play. Maya was one of them. Someone as arrogant and domineering as Chloe was always unusually polite and respectful toward Maya, and I never understood what her background was. I didn't have a distinct impression of her because she rarely ever spoke. Why would she be the one to volunteer for this? Feeling a mix of confusion and anger, I exited the game lobby. After taking a moment to collect my thoughts, I sent a message to Chloe. "Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow." About 30 minutes later, she sent back a nonchalant reply. "Haha, same." I smirked to myself, but didn't write back. The next day, I went to the meeting as planned. Standing in front of the restaurant, a young woman immediately caught my attention. She was tall, with a serene and cool demeanor that made her stand out effortlessly from the bustling crowd. I walked over to her. "Chloe?" She seemed to freeze for a moment, staring at me as if she were in a daze. "Are you Bite?" she asked. "That's me," I said, offering a deliberately shy smile. "You're even more beautiful than I imagined. You're also—" She paused, searching for the right words. "You're not what I expected." She didn't explain further, but I knew exactly what she meant. Based on Chloe's descriptions, she had been led to believe I would be some unkempt, unattractive guy. I had come here today with the sole purpose of getting back at Chloe. But looking at Maya standing before me, I felt like this was more than just getting even. I was actually coming out ahead. Summoning my courage, I reached out and took her hand. "Come on, let's go eat." Maya's body tensed slightly, and she continued to stare at me with an intense, unreadable gaze. Maya was incredibly considerate throughout our meal. She kept asking if I was exhausted from the long trip and if I was having any difficulty adjusting to the big city. We discovered we had so much in common, and we talked for hours, completely losing all track of time. Before we knew it, it was past 10 in the evening. Maya offered to walk me back to my hotel. Standing at the entrance, she appeared hesitant, clearly wrestling with what to do next. She was, after all, on a mission from Chloe, to get rid of me. "Bite?" she began. "Call me Leo," I said. "That's my real name." "All right, Leo, there's something I need to tell you." "Wait," I interrupted, gently pulling her into the convenience store next to the hotel. I had never done anything so bold before, and I could feel a blush creeping up my neck. Steeling myself, I walked to the counter and picked up a small box. "I'll take these," I said to the cashier. Maya blinked, looking from the box to me. "You're staying with me tonight, right?" I asked, looking at her with a hopeful expression, my voice taking on a pleading, almost whining tone that I didn't even recognize as my own. Maya glanced down, her eyes narrowing slightly. "Are you serious?" She tapped her phone on the payment terminal without giving me a chance to reconsider. I leaned in and kissed her. She was like a calm, quiet flood. Initially, she was restrained, still and composed. No matter how I tried to provoke a response, she remained impassive. Frustrated, I bit her lip, just hard enough to make her flinch. "Are you not into this?" I murmured bitterly. "If not, then just forget it." The moment I started to pull away, she suddenly wrapped a hand around the back of my head and, as if to prove a point, kissed me back with a fierce intensity. The dam had broken. The passion between us became a surging, unstoppable torrent. She held on to me, kissing me from the elevator all the way to my hotel room door. Once we were inside, she forced out a sliver of rationality. "Last chance to change your mind." But her ragged breathing gave away her true feelings. I slipped my hand under her t-shirt, which was all the answer she needed. Maya was a paradox of gentle and wild. When she whispered my name, her voice was huskier than I'd ever heard it. "Leo, what about here?" I was completely lost in the moment, unable to pull myself away. As we were wrapped up in each other, Maya's phone began to ring. She glanced at the screen, her expression darkening as she declined the call. "Who was that?" I asked. "A friend," she replied. A moment later, it rang again. After the third time, Maya finally answered it. "Maya, why weren't you answering? You scared me. I thought maybe you—" Chloe's voice came clearly through the speaker. In the quiet of the room, it was impossible to miss. I pretended not to hear, continuing to boldly trace patterns on Maya's skin. Maya struggled to keep her breathing even. "I'm busy." Well, she wasn't lying. Maya, I was just calling to see, did you get rid of him?" Maya's beautiful eyes locked with mine. "Yeah," she said, her voice steady. "He's gone." I had no intention of keeping Maya in the dark for long. The next morning, as we were enjoying one last lazy embrace, I purposely called out her real name. Maya was slightly taken aback. "How did you know?" "I've known for a while, actually," I admitted. She bit down lightly on my collarbone, a gesture that seemed both annoyed and careful not to hurt me. Afterwards, Maya confessed that she had been awake all night, agonizing over how to tell me the truth. I then asked the biggest question that had been on my mind. "Why did you volunteer to go for Chloe?" By this point, Maya was dressed. "I'd had the cookies you made. They were really good. I used to send Chloe things periodically. Cookies I baked, pastries, and other small gifts. Apparently, Chloe barely touched any of it, simply passing it along to her friends. I just felt that a guy like you deserved some respect, even if he was about to get dumped." "Then you should also know," I said, feeling a little apologetic, "that I only came to meet you to get revenge on Chloe." "I figured as much," she replied. "I was planning to tell Chloe everything about last night, with all the graphic details, just to make you two turn on each other." "And now?" she asked. "But now I've realized she's a horrible person, and you seem to be a decent one." She laughed, a sparkle appearing in her eyes. "So you think pretty highly of me?" "Anyway," I continued, "my issues with Chloe shouldn't have involved you." Maya gently ruffled my messy hair. "Leo, let's make a deal." "What is it?" "Starting today," she said, her gaze steady. "How about you try liking me?" After Maya left, I remained in a bit of a daze. Her words, which felt almost like a confession, had caught me completely off guard. But I quickly rationalized it. It wasn't a real confession. She was just different from Chloe. Her personal code of ethics likely told her that if you sleep with someone, you should take some responsibility for it. She probably only said that out of a sense of propriety. It wasn't like she was actually falling for me. As for Chloe, she had already unfriended and blocked me. She believed Maya had completed her mission and hadn't hesitated for a second. She had no idea that Maya had gone behind her back and sent me a friend request herself. Half a month later, I officially registered for classes at Chloe and Maya's university. I was originally a student at a university in Crestwood. To make meeting Chloe possible, I had specifically applied for an exchange student program here. Now I was still attending school in Sterling City, but things with Chloe were definitively over. After finishing my registration paperwork, an upperclassman offered to give me a tour of the campus. As we passed by the Wall of Fame next to the cafeteria, I saw a photograph of a vibrant, confident-looking girl. It was Chloe, her chin held high, with flawless makeup and one corner of her mouth quirked up in a spoiled, wild smirk. The upperclassman pointed her out. "That's our school's famous little princess, Chloe. Her family is powerful and influential in Sterling City. You're better off not getting on her bad side." "She's on the Wall of Fame? Is she a top student?" I asked. "Nah," the upperclassman said, as if it were common knowledge. "Her family's rich. They donated a library." "What about this one?" I asked, pointing to the photo next to Chloe's. It was Maya. The upperclassman clicked his tongue. "Tusk. Maya's the real genius, but she's even more difficult to get close to than Chloe." "What do you mean?" The upperclassman gestured for me to lean in and lowered his voice conspiratorially. "I heard her whole family is in government. Even someone like Chloe has to be completely respectful around her." That made sense. It was perfectly logical for business tycoons to be wary of politicians. In the photograph, Maya's face suddenly seemed distant and unapproachable. The upperclassman and I continued our walk toward the cafeteria. Just then, a girl came running out towards us. She was tall, with a head of striking pink hair, strands sticking out in an untamed, stylish mess. The upperclassman nudged me. "That's Chloe." We heard her call out, "Maya, have you eaten yet? I can bring you something back. I'm just about to—" She suddenly saw me and stopped dead in her tracks. Her eyes slowly widened. lighting up with interest. For a split second, I wondered if she had somehow recognized me. But the next moment she blurted out, "Holy crap, Maya, guess what? I just saw a super hot guy. Totally my type." A super hot guy. Chloe was accustomed to being the center of attention and had no filter. She was so loud that all the students in the vicinity turned to look directly at me. I looked down at the ground, wanting nothing more than to cover my face and disappear. After that, Chloe started following me. "Hey, what's your name? Are you a new student? Where are you from? You're not from Sterling City, are you? What's your major? My name's Chloe. If you need anything, just ask me." Somebody save me. I had absolutely no desire to engage with this person. How did I ever get tricked into an online relationship with her? Downstairs from my dorm, Chloe offered to help me carry my luggage up to my room. She saw my name on the bed assignment list. Leo? That's a really nice name. I kept my expression neutral and didn't say a word. Back when we were dating online, I had used the name Bite. Chloe had never known my real name. Before she left, she tried to ask me out to dinner. I flatly refused. "Can I at least get your number then? If you need anything, you can just call me." I looked at her and suddenly found the situation hilarious. "Sure." Seeing me agree, Chloe got excited. She took out her phone and scanned my QR code. On her screen, my username and profile picture popped up. Bite. Chloe froze. She just stood there, completely stunned, her mouth hanging slightly open in disbelief. You're Bite?" she stammered. "Yeah. I... She was utterly speechless. I deliberately looked at her profile on my phone. "Huh? Isn't this my ex-girlfriend's account? Did you steal my ex's phone?" "No," she protested. "Did you hack my ex's account?" "That's not it either." Chloe was dying of embarrassment, completely at a loss for how to explain. "I'm sorry, Bite. I'll be honest with you. I am your ex-girlfriend." "You're lying," I said coolly. "I've already met my ex-girlfriend." "The one who met up with you that day was one of my friends. I had something come up last minute and couldn't make it, so I asked my friend to go for me." She looked so guilty, it was honestly comical. She mentioned a few more specific details from our online chats, trying desperately to prove her identity. Finally, she asked cautiously, "Do you believe me now?" "If what you're saying is true," I said, "then you're a liar who tricked me into meeting someone else." "No!" The more she tried to explain, the deeper the hole she dug for herself. Chloe was getting desperate. "You came all this way to see me. It would have been awful of me to just stand you up. That's why I had to come up with that plan." "If you were so considerate," I countered, "why did you break up with me right after?" "I thought we'd be long distance forever, and I didn't want to hold you back, so..." I stared at her, maintaining a faint smile. She, however, couldn't manage to smile back. Her face grew pale with guilt. "Bite. No, Leo, if you don't believe me, I can have my friend come and explain it to you in person." "No need to go to all that trouble." "Then let me add you as a friend again." "No need for that either," I smiled brightly at her. "I have a rule. I don't go back to my exes." After I rejected her, Chloe kept looking for other opportunities to talk to me. She even went so far as to bribe my roommate. Over the weekend, my roommate, Kevin, dragged me to a shooting range. As soon as we walked in, I saw a familiar figure. Chloe was grinning, showing off her pearly white teeth and waving enthusiastically in my direction. I turned to leave, but Kevin grabbed my arm. "Leo, wait, don't go." I gave him a cold look. I had never seen anyone sell out their roommate so shamelessly. "Hey, I'm friends with Chloe. Just do me a favor. Chloe's covering everything today and tomorrow. It's free, so we might as well have some fun." I looked at Kevin's fawning expression and made a mental note to keep my distance from him in the future. Chloe walked over to me. "Leo, I specifically invited my friend today to clear things up with you." "What?" "She should be here any minute." Before I could say anything else, Chloe waved at someone behind me. I turned around and my eyes met Maya's. We exchanged a silent, knowing glance. "This is my friend, Maya. You met her that day." "Met her, and then some." "What exactly needs to be cleared up?" I asked. "I had something important come up that day and absolutely couldn't make it, so I had Maya go instead, right, Maya?" Chloe shot Maya a pointed look, but Maya didn't say a word. Her silence made the atmosphere a bit awkward. Chloe tried to signal her again while laughing nervously. "She's just a quiet person. Silence means yes." Kevin chimed in to help. "I can vouch for that. Maya's not much of a talker." "Oh, she's not much of a talker," I responded lightly. "So I guess she also didn't tell you that on that night she and I intentionally trailed off, leaving a dramatic pause. The expressions on Chloe and Kevin's faces instantly turned to panic. But wait. I could understand Chloe panicking. Why was Kevin panicking? What did this have to do with him? What did you and she do?" he sputtered, even more nervous than Chloe, staring desperately at Maya. I understood immediately. He had a crush on Maya. "We had dinner together, had a nice chat, and that was it. Is that right, Maya?" Maya glanced at me. "Yes, everything Leo said is true." The two of them simultaneously breathed a sigh of relief. Did no one else notice the deeper meaning in Maya's words? Everything I said is true. Even if I were lying, she would still validate it. Maya and I had reached a silent understanding. "No wonder you didn't reply to the 3 messages I sent you that night, Maya," Kevin said, turning to her. "Chloe said you went to meet some guy from online. I was heartbroken for so long." He then pulled Maya forward, deliberately leaving space between me and Chloe. His clumsy attempts at matchmaking were really annoying. I said to Chloe, "You and Kevin should get together. You two are a good match." "Don't be ridiculous," Chloe scoffed. "I barely know him." But that wasn't what Kevin thought. "What do you mean by that?" he asked me. I smiled without explaining. Chloe had her own social circle, filled with people like Maya who weren't exactly ordinary students. Kevin clearly wanted to be a part of that circle. Watching him run around doing favors for Chloe today, it was obvious he already considered himself a member. "It's nothing," I said. "Chloe, I'm telling you again, even if you get 100 people to come and vouch for you 1,000 times, I don't like you." "Why?" she demanded. "There has to be a reason. Weren't we good when we were dating online?" "Because I hate liars," I said simply. Chloe froze on the spot. I went into a private shooting lane by myself. I'd never been shooting before and couldn't get the hang of it at first. Just as I was about to give up in frustration, a hand gently covered mine, helping me steady the pistol. "Like this." Maya's voice was right beside my ear. I looked up at her, surprised. "How did you get in here?" "It took me forever to shake Kevin," she said. "Just let me have some peace and quiet in here." "You don't like him?" "Never have," she stated plainly. She paused, as if afraid I might get the wrong impression, and took the initiative to explain further. "And I've rejected him explicitly. But he's a lot like Chloe. Rejecting him a few times does nothing." Got it. Under Maya's guidance, I was finally able to hit the target. Just as I was feeling a surge of satisfaction, she suddenly asked, "Why didn't you tell them the truth earlier?" "I didn't want to see you and Chloe have a falling out," I admitted. I'd been slowly piecing things together recently. Even though Chloe was a terrible person when it came to relationships, she was surprisingly popular. There had to be a reason Maya was willing to be her friend. "Besides," I added, If word of this got out, it wouldn't be good for your reputation either." "I don't really care about that stuff," she said, then seemed to reconsider. "But you're right. We should keep it quiet for now." She was worried about me. As the guy in the situation, she was more afraid of me being the one people would gossip about. "Another round?" she asked. "Okay." Her left hand rested on my waist, and her right hand held mine on the trigger, a position that perfectly pulled me into her arms. The moment the bullet hit the bullseye, we heard a voice from outside the door. "Maya, are you in there? Kevin said he can't find you." Chloe pushed the door open. There was a prep table in front of me, about waist high. By the time Chloe entered, Maya and I had already separated. "Oh, you're both here," she said, looking us over, slightly surprised. "Yeah," Maya responded calmly. "I was just giving him some pointers on shooting." "Kevin doesn't know how either. You should teach him too," Chloe suggested. "Stop trying to push him on me. I don't like him. How many times do I have to say it?" Maya's tone didn't change, but it carried an inexplicable weight. Kevin, who was standing behind Chloe, heard her words and his face went pale. Chloe, on the other hand, dropped her usual playful smirk. "Then are you teaching Leo because you like him?" The question hung in the air like a clap of thunder on a clear day. It was powerful, but for a moment, no one responded. Before Maya could speak, Chloe started laughing again. "Just kidding." "That's not a funny joke," I said. "Yeah, it really isn't," Chloe agreed, clicking her tongue. "I regret letting Maya meet you for me. Otherwise, I'd be the one teaching you how to shoot." "And whose fault is that?" I shot back with a smile. Chloe's eyes were large, with noticeable bags underneath them. When she got emotional, they would turn slightly red. Right now, even though she was still smiling, the skin under her eyes was clearly flushed. "By the way, Maya, what kind of guys do you actually like?" Chloe asked. Maya replied, "Someone who looks innocent, but refuses to be pushed around." "That sounds like a specific person," Chloe mused. "Does it?" "Maybe." It felt like there was a subtle undercurrent flowing between us, one that Chloe had no idea about. Behind the prep table, out of her sight, Maya was still holding my hand tightly and hadn't let go. Back at school, Kevin was dejected for a few days. He'd been rejected by Maya yet again. One night he asked me, "Leo, why won't you give Chloe a chance?" "I just don't like her." "Are you just playing hard to get?" I looked at him like he was insane. "A girl as great as Chloe. She's pretty, rich, and generous. Where else are you going to find someone like that?" "I don't give a damn if she has money." "Yeah, keep telling yourself that," he scoffed. "Chloe's relationships never lasted more than 2 weeks before. The fact that she's been chasing you this long means she's serious. You should be happy." I laughed. "Relationships not lasting more than 2 weeks means she's a player and has no patience. What's there to brag about?" "You," Kevin was getting angry, "don't take what you have for granted." "Kevin, do you know what you sound like right now?" "What?" "Like one of those lackeys in a TV show who follows the queen bee around. She farts and you treat it like a royal decree." Kevin looked like he was about to explode. He launched into a tirade against me, but his words went in one ear and out the other. In the end, I only said one thing to him. "Take my advice. Stop trying so hard to fit into a circle you don't belong in." A crack had formed in Chloe and Maya's friendship. Although they still spent time together, it felt more like a performance than a genuine bond. I play mobile games in my spare time, which is how I met Chloe in the first place. Over the long weekend, the game company hosted an offline convention right in Sterling City. Everyone in my dorm decided to go. Kevin wasn't originally interested, but when he heard everyone else was going, he insisted on tagging along. As luck would have it, we ran into Chloe and Maya there. The convention was packed. We wanted to get lunch, but all the nearby restaurants were completely full. We couldn't find a single empty table. That's when Kevin spotted them. "Chloe, what a coincidence. You guys are here too." Chloe and her friends were in a private room that wasn't full. Kevin said casually, "Hey, why don't we share a table? There are 8 of us total. It's a perfect fit." "Sure, my treat," Chloe agreed readily. My phone buzzed with a new message. It was from Maya. "Did you see the swordswoman cosplayer?" I glanced at Maya across the table. She was looking down at her phone, appearing calm and composed. We had been talking every day about everything under the sun, from our majors to video games. There was never a topic we couldn't discuss. It felt amazing to have found a kindred spirit. "I did," I typed back. "She was so badass." "You liked it?" she replied. "Yeah, the swordswoman is my favorite character. I've been thinking about trying cosplay. Are you going to cosplay the swordswoman? You'd be perfect for it. You have to show me when you do. I'll only show you." My heart suddenly tingled, like a warm current running through my whole body. I hadn't even had a chance to process the feeling when, beside me, Kevin suddenly leaned over. "Leo, who are you texting?" I immediately flipped my phone face down on the table. "Don't look at my phone without permission." "What's the big deal?" he grumbled, looking displeased. "I wasn't trying to be sneaky. You were smiling so happily. What's wrong with sharing?" Was I smiling? "Yeah, you were," the others chimed in. "You looked really happy. Watching a funny video? Share it with us." I hadn't even realized I was smiling unconsciously. My gaze swept over to Maya. I saw a faint smile in her eyes, too. They started a group chat on the spot, and I had no choice but to share all the memes from my photo album. After a while, the topic shifted. A girl asked, "By the way, Maya, I heard you say you have a crush on a hot guy?" Maya nodded. "I do." "Wow, that's rare. Maya actually has a crush." "It's not every day a flower blooms on an iron tree," another joked. Kevin got anxious again. "Who? Is it a guy I know?" Maya said, "It's not convenient to tell you right now." "Is he from our school?" "I don't want to say." Maya's lips were sealed. If she didn't want to share, you could ask until you were blue in the face and get nothing. Kevin instantly deflated like a popped balloon and lost his appetite. Chloe suddenly spoke up. "Maya, tell us so we can help you get some intel." "No need. I'm pursuing him." After Maya said this, the whole group looked at her, stunned. "Wow, so you're the type to make the first move." Maya smiled. "It's rare to find someone I like, so of course I have to be proactive." "How are you pursuing him? Share some tips." Maya thought for a moment and said, "I'm going to cosplay for him." I almost spit out my tea. Maya had no idea her words could be interpreted in another way, but this group of experienced players immediately went there. "Wow, you're already at the cosplay stage." "My mistake. I was worried you didn't know how to flirt, but it turns out you're a pro." Maya's face turned cold. "Get your minds out of the gutter and just eat." The girls immediately fell silent. And next to me, Kevin could barely stay in his seat. He was officially heartbroken. He'd been out of sorts for a while now, but no one seemed to care about his feelings. The girls he considered his friends didn't even glance his way. Halfway through the meal, the conversation returned to Maya. "Maya, you can't just cosplay for him. You have to spend some money. Get him a gift he'll like." "Already bought it," Maya said calmly. "The limited edition watch from E." Another girl's head shot up. "You bought this year's limited edition watch? No wonder. There was only one in all of Sterling City. My boyfriend wanted it, but the brand said someone had already bought it. I was wondering what jerk got to it first. Maya, my bad." "My boyfriend sent me a picture of it too," another girl said. "It's beautiful. It has a sapphire set in the moon phase dial, and since it's limited edition, The price has an extra 0 compared to the regular model. My stomach dropped. No way. The one Maya gave me? She had just given it to me last week. I hadn't wanted to accept it at first, but she insisted. I bought one for all the male relatives in my family, and I had one left over. Just take it and wear it for fun. It was the only one in the entire city. I felt a little uncomfortable. At that moment, my not-so-bright roommate had a sudden flash of genius. Wait, a sapphire set in the moon phase dial? I wanted to clamp my hand over his mouth, but it was too late. Leo, show them the one on your wrist. My boy Leo has a watch like that, but it's definitely not the one you're talking about. Leo, let these damn rich people have a look. The good news? My roommate had no idea Maya gave it to me. The bad news? If I showed it, everyone would know. All eyes were on me, especially Chloe's. The smile was gone from her face, her knuckles white from clenching her fists. Maya saw my predicament and spoke up. Forget it. Spare me the embarrassment. If a $100 watch looks as good as the $15,000 one I bought, I'll have a breakdown. She passed the topic off lightly with a joke, and no one mentioned the watch again for the rest of the afternoon. After we got back to campus, I had to stop by a professor's office. My roommates went back to the dorm first. When I came out of the office, I saw Chloe. She was standing alone in the shadows of the hallway. Without her usual bold smile, she actually looked a little gloomy. Leo, I was waiting for you. You need something. Chloe looked me straight in the eye. Can I see the watch on your wrist? At this point, I felt there was no reason to hide it anymore. I took off the watch and held it out for her to see. Clear enough for you? The skin around Chloe's eyes turned red again. It's real. Yep, Maya gave it to me. Is she pursuing you? She has been for a few months. A few months? Meaning? Since the day we first met. Chloe's pupils contracted. Her fists were clenched so tight they were trembling. I curved my lips into a smile. Mad? Feel like punching her right about now? But Chloe, it was you who pushed me right to her. Actually, Chloe had suspected it for a while, but me admitting it and her just guessing were two completely different things. As I spoke, the color drained from Chloe's face. Why did you date me online? Because you'd never dated anyone as broke and dumb as me. Why did you refuse to meet up? Because I'm from a small town, so I must be some ugly freak who isn't good enough for you. Why did you send someone else? Because you wanted them to get rid of me. Chloe became agitated. Did Maya tell you all this? No, I heard it myself. I opened my phone and pulled up the game's chat history. The night before we were supposed to meet, I went invisible in your game lobby. I was originally going to surprise you, tell you I'd transferred to your school as an exchange student so we wouldn't have to be long distance anymore. I didn't expect you to surprise me first. She couldn't say a single word in her defense. You should actually be thanking Maya. She never said a single bad word about you. I'm sorry, Leo. I apologize for what I said. Chloe bowed deeply to me, her apology more sincere than I could have imagined. I really was shallow before, but please believe me, I'm being 100% serious now. I want to have a real relationship with you. For the sake of the good times we had dating online, can you give me a chance? Then let me ask you a few questions, I said. Go ahead. What flavor were the first handmade cookies I sent you? Chloe hesitated. Milk flavor, I think. And the flavor I sent after that? Strawberry? Wrong. I told you I only know how to make chocolate. Chloe was stunned. So, where are the cookies I made? I ate them too fast. I didn't notice. Don't say anything, let me guess. You couldn't be bothered, didn't even look at them, and just tossed them to your friends, maybe even to guys, right? My tone was calm. Chloe, judging by your expression, I guessed right. You want to know how I guessed? Because I saw the cookies I made on Kevin's desk. I still remembered how Kevin looked then, his feet propped up on his desk, his heel resting right on top of the cookie box. This? Chloe gave it to me. Said I could just throw it away if I didn't want it. I thought it tasted pretty good. Do you recognize this box? Where can I buy it? I forced a bitter smile. That had been a piece of my heart. Even though I didn't like Chloe anymore, it still hurt to have a heartfelt gesture treated so callously. I pushed down the sadness and looked at Chloe coldly. So, Chloe, if you're going to blame someone, blame yourself. That night, news that rocked the entire campus exploded. Every dorm group chat was blowing up. Chloe and Maya got into a fight, and both of them were sent to the hospital. Weren't they supposed to be good friends? All sorts of rumors were flying around. I didn't have time for that, and rushed to the hospital to check on them. Kevin had already given up on Maya, so when he saw the news, he just bit his lip and suppressed his curiosity. But what I didn't know was that after I left, Kevin sent Chloe a message. He went to the hospital. This is your chance. In the hospital, Chloe received the message, her heart pounding with anxiety. She held on to a sliver of hope. The hope that I was there to see her. Because back when we were dating online, she had told me something, that she was actually terrified of pain. When she was little, whenever her mom's business wasn't going well, she would come home and whip her with a clothes hanger. To this day, Chloe still has faint scars on her back. Ever since then, she's had a deep-seated fear of being hit. Given her personality, everyone assumed she'd be good in a fight. But in reality, she never got involved in things like that. The fight with Maya was a first. That afternoon, after returning to their dorm, Chloe found Maya and grabbed her by the collar, demanding answers. But Maya simply replied, "You're the one who pushed Leo to me." I had said those same words. The synchronicity enraged Chloe. Then Maya said, "On what grounds are you questioning me, as his ex-girlfriend's best friend? I'll win him back. Learn to respect him first, then we can talk about winning him back." "Don't give me that crap!" In her anger, Chloe suddenly remembered something I had said. "Maya, tell me the truth. That night, did you two just have dinner?" Maya didn't answer. She wouldn't answer that question without my permission, but her silence said everything. Chloe gritted her teeth. "How far did it go? Holding hands, kissing? Did you sleep together?" Maya remained silent, but she didn't look away. Chloe understood that look. On impulse, she swung her hand. But Maya was no pushover. She might be quiet and low-key, but she came from a family of military officers. In the end, Chloe was hurt worse than Maya. Now Chloe was pacing in her hospital room. What should she say when Leo came in? A sincere apology? Play the victim? He knew she was afraid of pain, that she didn't like fighting. He would definitely feel sorry for her, right? Chloe paced and paced. She waited for an hour and got nothing. She pushed open the door and asked the nurse outside, "Has a tall guy with longish hair been here, named Leo?" The nurse checked the visitor log. He went to the room next door. Next door was Maya. When I got to the hospital, I went straight to Maya's room. Thank God she wasn't hurt too badly. I let out a sigh of relief. "I heard you two fought so bad you were hospitalized. I was scared for a second. Thought it was like the movies, with ruptured organs and everything." Maya soothingly stroked my hair. "Yeah, that's terrifying." "Don't worry, we're not kids. We know our limits." I pursed my lips. Chloe's personality is no different from a kid's. "Have you been to see her?" Maya asked. "No." "You came to see me first?" "Yeah." She smiled, a genuine, heartfelt smile. "That's great. At least I didn't miss my chance this time." "What do you mean?" Maya cleared her throat twice and adopted a different tone. "Bitemaster, I don't quite get this problem. Can you teach me?" My eyes widened in an instant. "Wait, are you—" It's me. Maya's eyes were smiling. Fragments of memories suddenly flashed back. Before I ever met Chloe, I had registered for an account on some kind of academic forum. My username was Byte. My profile picture was the dog my parents owned. One day I came across a post. A user named Aria posted a calculus problem saying they couldn't solve it. That was my specialty. I scribbled down the solution on a piece of paper, took a picture, and uploaded it. This user, Aria, immediately followed me and would send me messages from time to time. Sometimes it was to ask questions, sometimes it was just to share a book they had read. Later, life got busy, and I stopped logging into the forum. And then I met Chloe in a game. And then Maya. "You're Aria?" I asked, stunned. "Yes, technically speaking, I actually knew you before Chloe did." "Then why didn't you say anything?" "By the time Chloe introduced you to us, you were already her boyfriend." From Maya's perspective, this memory was entirely different. Back on the forum, she already saw me as a genius and wanted to meet me in real life. She knew which university I attended, but not my major or my name. When Maya finally worked up the courage to ask me to meet up, I had already stopped logging on. She was disappointed for a while. 4 months later, Chloe started playing games with a guy named Byte. When she saw the username and profile picture, she froze. Chloe said, "Byte is my boyfriend. We just got together." At first, Maya was just suspicious. How could it be such a coincidence? The same username with the same profile picture. Later, I casually mentioned my university, which deepened her suspicion. To confirm her theory, Maya once posted a calculus problem in the public chat. Chloe complained, "I have to see calculus even when I'm playing a game? Maya, you might as well just kill me." But I sent the solution. Only then was Maya completely sure of my identity. But it was too late. She watched as Chloe and I dated online and said nothing. She couldn't say anything. She waited for a long time, and finally her chance came when Chloe said she didn't want to meet up. On that day, Maya turned on her microphone. After hearing her explanation, it all clicked. "So you're a sapiosexual." Now that things were clear with Maya, I accepted her advances. "So from now on, I'm your girlfriend? Chloe doesn't have a chance anymore?" "Right." Maya grabbed my head and kissed me hard. "Control yourself, we're still in the hospital," I said, laughing. "When was the last time I kissed you?" 6 months ago when we first met." "It's been 6 months already. Every time I see you, I want to kiss you. It's been torture holding back." "That's an exaggeration. It's only been 6 months." "You don't know," she said, her thumb brushing over my lips, her voice hoarse. "Once you've tasted something so good." Maya was breathtakingly beautiful. Her dark, shining eyes felt like they could pull me in. Just then, the door to the hospital room was pushed open. "What are you two doing?" Chloe asked, her voice strained. "Don't get the wrong idea. I was just looking at Maya's eyes from up close." There was no way we were actually going to do anything in a hospital room, not while Maya was injured. "Isn't it obvious?" I said. "I'm visiting my girlfriend." "Girlfriend?" "Yeah, we just got together. Like a minute before you walked in." Chloe's hand was still on the doorknob, but it was already trembling. Was I one step too late? I shook my head. "You already cut in line, and it turns out cutting in line didn't work." Chloe didn't understand what I meant. She didn't have the capacity to. "Leo." "Yeah." "Do you not care about me at all? I'm hurt worse than she is. I'm in a lot of pain. The doctors will take care of you." "But that's not what you used to say." Her eyes were completely red. I couldn't tell if it was from bloodshot eyes or unshed tears. "You said you felt bad about my childhood, that you would help me heal." "Yes," I answered softly. "I tried. No matter the outcome, I really did try." During the time I dated Chloe online, I was serious and invested. I would feel sad about her childhood. I would hate her mother right along with her. But she only opened up to me to make me fall for her even harder. A shallow person is ultimately hurt by their own actions. Now, I had to move forward. I was an exchange student at Sterling University for a year, and then I had to go back to Crestwood University in my hometown. Coincidentally, Maya was also from Crestwood. A year later, she graduated and returned home as well. We stayed together. Chloe never came back to school after that. She went abroad. It wasn't until the day she left that I realized when she said she was genuinely in love with me now. It turns out she wasn't lying. The day came when even Chloe couldn't let someone go. Because she couldn't let go, her only option was to run away to another country. The day she got on the plane, she sent me a message. "Bite. See you if fate allows." I replied, "No fate, so we'll never see each other again." As for Kevin, after returning to Crestwood, I didn't keep up with him. Come to think of it, after Maya and I got together, he barely spoke to me. But he never did anything to hurt me either. I think he must have really liked Maya. Liking someone isn't a crime, and I had no reason to hold it against him. I graduated from Crestwood University and was accepted straight into a graduate program. On graduation day, I got a message from Kevin. "Leo, even though we were only roommates for a year, I wanted to say congratulations on graduating and wish you all the best for the future." I knew he had moved on. I smiled and replied, "Wishing you a bright future too." I put my phone away and looked up into the distance. Maya was standing there, holding a bouquet of flowers, here for my graduation ceremony. A phrase suddenly came to mind. "Look forward. The right person is in your future."